Alright. We got audio, good. So I was watching this video today. I watched it twice, just to get more feel for it. Called I Missed the Internet When I Had Less People. You know, I have a few contentions with it, but I mean overall, I agree with most of what's on there. Though I think I can't help but feel like he's coming at it from this angle of being a typical normie. Yeah, he can talk about being a nerd all he wants, but if you're white and straight, then you can pretty much pass off in any area, any location, just fine. I know a lot of bullied nerds out there in their elementary school days. I feel like they're still a victim. Or that because they've been victimized, they can't possibly be a victimizer in the future. And I think that mentality still holds strong. And one of the things, that keeps coming up is that, had this idea like the old internet was more like a free market of ideas. And it's like, well, kinda. Except, if you had ideas that weren't popular, or well accepted, you would just get drowned out by the majority. Especially when it comes to justifying your existence. And I had a friend at one point who just... his days on the internet in high school in 2003, 2004 was just going on websites and talking about Jewish conspiracies. Coming to school angry about some other fucking nonsense. Another nerd I knew just straight up told me black people were like orcs. Just like apropos of nothing one day, I'm just in design class. And this anime nerd just confronts me. He's like, "What do you think of black people, Andy?" I'm like, what? Think they're fine? He's like, "Well, don't you think they destroyed Detroit? Don't you think all that shit they did to Detroit was bad? They're like orcs. All they know how to do is destroy." I'm just thinking like, I don't know how to respond to this confrontation in my angsty teenage years. And as he was saying that, the only black kid in our class walked in. All that bravery kind of went away, I guess, when he walked in. That's one thing about internet in general. Even today, there's so much little accountability for what you say, what you believe, any like shitty ideas you believe in. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out where the hell I'm going to put all the blacks at tonight. It's probably going to be a quick one. So I'm going to have more time tonight, but I was working on other projects, so it wasn't like I was being unproductive. Definitely got to test out the doing some fireworks. Then again, I probably will take a picture of this and then go on my tablet and do a quick rundown, like where I think where it will look best, where all the blacks would be. I'm not too sure. I really am not. I got references here. Kind of give me an idea where all the inks are going to be. It sucks because Christmas Day, gotta make a 4-hour drive, see the family, and then the same day I gotta drive back because I got work on Friday. It sucks. I think it would cost them more money to keep things open one extra day just to only close it for the weekend, but whatever, I'm not the boss. Honestly, if like the water's still enough, all you would have is just like lights. You wouldn't be seeing like any ripples. Any waves. Especially a river like this. And I was just trying to compare and think of the internet old days. Yeah, because like when I was thinking, when it comes to a lot of comments you get, a lot of them just might as well be invisible. Like, especially if it's like an insult, it's just like, whatever. Who are you? Stranger I'll never see again? Why should anything you say have any effect on me? And vice versa, right? And so you got a lot of people with their own fucking ideas or shitty ideas and opinions, not willing to fucking accept the fact that they might be wrong. Like, I made a comment, and immediately someone brought up trans issues, even though I didn't mention anything about trans. And I said some ideas are not worth listening to. They're a waste of fucking time. Like, see, this is the thing about I have contention with Empleman, is that he doesn't seem to understand that certain people's existence are just political inherently. Whether you're gay or black in this country, your existence is up for debate. Never happens with white people, never happens with straight people. Doesn't matter what little Twitter post you find, there's no fucking policy or law being proposed that limits the rights of straight Christian white males out there. Like, what's the fucking benefit of debating some asshole about whether or not women should vote? What's the benefit? You don't see scientists debating whether or not the Earth is flat in their little circles in that, you know, academia world, whatever. It's because it's already been figured out. It's an objective fact, just like the Earth being round, the sun being hot. You know, someone responded to my post. I'm like, you know, being against trans existence and saying like it's not scientific at all is just like saying the fucking Earth is flat. Yeah, that's one contention I had too. Is he talks about how the old internet was a little more civil, and people generally were a little more nicer to each other. And in the start, in the '80s, late '80s, early '90s, when it was just primarily older adults, sure. Everyone was busy. They didn't have time to fucking get too angry with each other. But later '90s, 2000s, fuck no. Anywhere you go, you have to mask up. You can express your real self in a lot of these places, a lot of these forums that existed. You know, one forum, something awful would like ban you if you're an anime nerd or a fucking furry. Especially a furry. If you had like a furry profile, they would just ban you straight up. They'll take your $5. You know, because I don't know what the problem was, because I wasn't participating in the internet back then. I knew better. I figured everyone on the internet was full of shit, so I figured why add to it. So I like when I was on the internet, I always made sure I never put myself in any position to be like having to lie or show my face or whatever. Or try to scam people or mislead them. I kind of agree what he says too. Like now it's just a plague. There's a plague of people online that just fucking say whatever they need to say to grift and try to get money off of YouTube or people's donations or whatever. You know, just today my second husband linked me to a video where a bunch of kids are getting scammed out of their money to donate to the stream. That says they're going to give them 1,000 views or 1,000 subs for any like little donation or whatever. And all they do is go into the web page, manipulate it, and make it appear that their channel has 1,000 more subs, when in fact it has no change. That has a green light for YouTube. Criticizing Joe Rogan though, that gets you banned apparently. Like the Onion Nuggets channel got banned because of that. All right, let's get this recorded. I'm just delaying the inevitable when it comes to this piece here, trying to get the inks down. And I think, yeah, because I have to look at it and be like, okay, so how is this going to look at night? And with the bushes, a lot of that's going to be blacked out, right? Yeah, I feel like just doing like a mock-up of it. It's not like I've done a piece like this a lot of pieces like this, and that's my problem I'm having. I almost feel like taking a picture of it, boosting up the contrast, figuring out what areas could be blacked out or whatever. You know, especially here where it's like the bridge overhang. What was the other thing he said in that video? And like I said, a lot of it's just true. Like the dead internet theory. Like so many people come on this website, or any other website, whether it's Rumble or whatever, and get popular on YouTube or get their shit popular. They'll just bot a bunch of views and subs. Like they'll invest a bunch of money. They have some company artificially boost their numbers so that they look popular, and therefore draws in an actual audience because, hey, you know, audience sees that, oh, this person's really popular, I'll check them out. Now, granted, you have to have some quality, right? Otherwise, no one's going to stick around. But it's like they're able to play. These people are able to play the long game. Invest a bunch of money that most people aren't going to have. Especially if you're a fucking young teen. Or if you're just born rich, I guess. Invest a bunch of money. And just, you know, ride out the time and hope for the best. It's just really fucking lame. I don't know how else to describe it other than lame. Yeah, meritocracy, my fucking ass. Meritocracy is that if you have money, you win. If you don't have the money, then you lose. That's it. Yeah, that brings me back to like the contention I had with this idea that you could just be anything you want on the internet. Like, no. And I have friends who had their fucking address leaked. I had photos that weren't supposed to be on the internet, put on the internet against their will. And then it got the attention of like Anonymous, for example, and they would call their work, harass their work constantly, try to get them fired. And they'll make up anything to say, potentially get them fired. Because how dare you express yourself on the internet as anything other than a straight white male. And don't tell me that wasn't the fucking general attitude, because that generally was. Yeah, you can argue for gay rights. You just have to, you know, hide yourself pretty good. Hopefully no one can figure out your IP address. Hopefully no one tries to befriend, no one befriends you, pretends to be your friend enough to the point where you actually click on a link they send and immediately betray you because they have nothing but time on their hands. Fuck with you. And it says a lot about like people when their instinct was when they see like Chris Chan, right? They're just like, I want to fuck with that person. I want to insert myself into their lives, and then I'm gonna fuck with them. I bet a lot of people are looking back at that shit with regret or remorse. At least I like to think they are. Let's pick on a mentally disabled person. You're gonna tell it to the guys at the bar at your job, like, "Hey, man, last night I made this mentally disabled person shove something up their butt because I was keeping their PSN account." Yeah, okay. Brilliant. Who's here? Probably bring up my fucking chat here. Hold on. Boop. God damn it. Really, man? There we go. Lately, the internet is mostly slop at this point. Gummy RWL. Hello. Yeah, exactly. I think I had like I don't know when I did, but I think I've had a Vegeta moment. What I mean is that in the anime Dragon Ball Z, there's a character, Vegeta, he's trying to surpass his rival, Goku. And he's trying really, really hard. Going through all this shit, trying to surpass him in power and strength. And at one point, he just gives up. You know what? No, I take it back. He doesn't give up. He says he doesn't care anymore. He just screams out, "I don't care anymore. I don't care about being better. I don't care." And that's when he hits that peak, that new peak of level, whatever, new peak of power. I like to think of that I had that moment at some point where I just don't care about what is the popular thing, because whatever the popular thing is today is no longer the popular thing a week later. In terms of, like, I don't know, topics, discussion. So just focus on making something a little more timeless. Again. More so than ever. And I have to say, like, doing this is a lot more fulfilling. I have to admit, I had a hard time getting myself started today. That's why I was starting so late tonight. But, you know, every time I push myself to do it, that feeling of low energy or whatever just goes away. And here I am. Okay. What to do. I can see it in my vision, like, where all the blacks are going to be, but I'm, like, nervous about doing it, because it's hard to work that shit back once you put it on there. Alright, I guess just start with the simple lines, right? Alright. I'm going to try to do this with the pen nibs. See how this works out. And yeah, it needs to be thinner lines for the sake of detail here. think this will do. Yeah, I was thinking too, like early days, when I was looking up furries in Michigan, came across in the Google search, it brought up Michigan Furries Forum, and yeah, I mean that kind of like tight formed community on just like a one forum where like everyone is in the same state as you and you could potentially meet each other in person. You know, find meetups. How do I do this? No, this is where you get a practice rundown. All right. Okay. Don't know if how that's a really thin enough line. Yeah, that can be thin enough. Okay. There's our practice. Also nervous about putting too much ink on here. Whoop. Son of a bitch. I slipped. That's okay. It's always fixable in the details. Especially since this is like cobblestone or whatever the hell it is. Always going to be little cracks and stuff like that on there. Also, probably should switch my nib. But yeah, like, I don't know, it'd be kind of hard to do that now in this day and age of the internet, right? At least up front. I'm sure if you search for it, you could find forums. Like, I found a forum dedicated to Jack Chick tracks. And not like one that praises them either. Just like they get together and they post a new chick track and then they tear it to shreds. So I don't know, maybe things are coming full circle, and like as like YouTube becomes more corporate and destroys its own former self, and I don't know, I think some of these other sites are just going to start building up. Now the thing is like what's going to happen with those, right? These corporations that are taking over already are so big. Likely what's going to happen is that they're just going to start buying everything out, or they're going to try to regulate it out. You know, regulations are good, except when corporations want them. When the corporations want the regulation, you know it's fucking bad. It's only going to be something that serves their interest and to squeeze out any other potential competitor. Like, I shouldn't even gotten to this far. Our monopoly law should have kicked in at some point. Alright. How's this? Yeah, that's a lot thinner. We shouldn't be having this fucking issue. Yeah, overall, you know, I encourage anyone coming across this to watch that video. I think it's pretty good overall. There's just one major contention I have, because like Lemon, on several occasions in his videos, it gives me the idea he believes in this idea, this imaginary thing called the free market of ideas, which does not fucking exist. If you have a free market of ideas, that just means you allow a bunch of bad actors to come in and taint the environment. It's just bullshit. Like I said earlier, there's no debate when it comes to like climate change. There's no debate in the scientific communities about whether or not climate change is real, and what the effects, what's affecting it, what's accelerating it. But in the free market of ideas on the internet, you can debate reality. You know, people being trans or gay or whatever, that's not a fucking debate. And debate itself on the internet is just fucking horseshit. It's not even proper debates anymore. Well, long since hasn't been proper debates. Like I was looking up, I was watching a previous debate involving like it's like economics or something like that. It's like Noam Chomsky and some other person. It's like here's you have actual like experts on a certain particular field and study presenting themselves with ideas and experiences, and you know, sharing those things, and it, you know, often involves the other person saying like, oh yeah, I never thought about that way, and whatever the issue may be of the day. I fucked up that line, I guess. I don't know if I like this ruler idea I have. Seems to not be working out in my favor. But now it's just like who can scream over who can scream over the other person the loudest, and like their sycophants are going to agree with them no matter what. You know, no matter if they stumble, no matter if they get owned. Whoever the debate's already been decided. It's whoever has the most fans before the debate even started. Yeah, it's a short enough line and get away with that. I also gotta remember this is drying, so I don't want to smear anything. So yeah, Emplemon's centrist problem, really. Damn it, I did touch it. Well, there's a big hole in there. There's a big chunk of concrete removed from there. In fact, it's actually off the drawing itself, so I shouldn't have to worry about it. Too much. Like, what's a good example? Oh, yes, Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan. I talk about Joe Rogan a lot. But they had a debate on gay marriage. Joe Rogan was in favor. Ben Shapiro was not. And at one point, Ben Shapiro chimes in and says, "Isn't it great how we can just talk to each other in such a calm manner and point we don't agree with?" And it's like, yeah, of course you can. Because it doesn't matter what fucking happens. Neither of you are going to be affected. If the government decides gay marriage is fine, you'll be fine. If the government decides gay marriage not fine, you'll both be fine still because you're both straight. So of course you can have a civil discussion about something that has no consequence to you. You might as well just be debating what's better, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, in terms of how it will affect you. Probably have more passion in that than you would have in the fucking social topic that's actually affecting people's lives. And like I said before, there's no room for, there's no debate for that. It's either you have equal rights or you don't. It's a waste of fucking time to entertain bigots. And Employment doesn't seem to understand that aspect of it, of things. Like, your existence is political in itself, whether you're black or queer, woman, identifying as woman, you know, especially if you're trans right now. You know, people have their fucking ignorances, but you know, the fucking push against trans people is you know, heavier than it was when I was growing up, at least. It's very fucking telling how things operate in this goddamn country. What was the other method he did? I've seen... Well, you can't do it that way, because... Oh, yes. The finger method. Line your fingers up. Hold this down. Man, I can't fucking do it. It's really fucking annoying. How do you do it? That. Yeah. Seems like I only can go one way. Need a better ruler. Well, it would have been great if I had an ink on there. I want to keep these thin lines anyways. Less detail the further things go back. Here, it's going to be little hints of the bushes as the fireworks light things up. don't want to get too crazy with details. It's kind of just almost have to just imply the shapes. Otherwise, I'll take away from the front subjects here. This whole back area is going to be blacked out. Very hard shadows here. Even in the daylight. Let alone night. So yeah, I mean, when the outcome doesn't affect you, of course you can debate things that, you know, they're inconsequential to you when it comes to, like, people's human rights. Like, this whole trans thing is not even a fucking debate amongst, like, academics and people who make it their fucking study in psychology. But it's a debate online in the free market of ideas. Yeah, Unemployment's complaining about how, like, people, like, tribalize and cut off other people for political disagreements. It's like, well, if your disagreement is my continued existence at your level, then why the fuck would I entertain that again? Like, no one has anything to gain from that. We all lose. Hey, Dalen. No, I don't have any extra time off work, no. I'm just streaming more often because I'm making more of the effort to. Those they've gotten a lot shorter. But my idea right now is to just pick a topic, stay on it, and when I run out of steam on it, then I just end it. But yeah, there was a lot of advantages keeping the old internet, like, you know, in forums and stuff. Keep all the riffraff out, at least most of the time. But that's the thing too, is that, like, if you're if you're a contentious group, if you're a queer group trying to survive and, you know, make community around that, you're subject to fucking targets. You know, people thought you're an abomination because of whatever fucking reason. You're never, like, entirely safe in those old days. You know, some people thought you just didn't belong. And they would do anything to try to get, like, drive you out. Whether it be on a fucking, like, you know, gaming community or whatever. It seems like I can get away with using this. Alright. See how crooked this is here. There. It's covering up that area. Yeah, this area's all, like, blacked out here. Yeah, rolling into the water. Yeah, the idea that older internet users were more, I don't know, polite online, like, anecdotally, sure. If I went to, like, anecdotal bullshit, yeah, the internet was great for me. I never had any problems. I never had any targets on me, but that's also because I didn't engage with it. I didn't engage with random forums too much outside of, like, GameStop or GameSpot, and that's it. I didn't go in any chat rooms. Thought they were a waste of time because I figured no one was real. No one was going to be real on those fucking chat rooms. Because I already kind of figured out quickly that people would just say whatever the fuck they want. You know, shit they would never say in real life. Shit they never say in person. So, you know, why waste my time arguing with anyone? No one's going to learn anything from it. They're just going to... everyone's just going to walk away with a whole bunch of time wasted. That's why they used to say arguing on the internet's like participating in the Special Olympics. At the end of the day, you're all retarded. Just learn not to do it. In a way, it's not that far off now. There's just more faces to it. That's it. That's the only difference. There's just more faces to all the fake people. You know, fake personalities. AstroTurf to popularity. There's no other way to describe it. And you most certainly did have to mask up in the earlier internet days. You could not get away with being fucking a woman or queer, especially in the early 2000s and shit, where more younger people are on there in forums and stuff. No, fuck that. You would not be welcomed if you're different. Different by the nerds, or the supposed outcast nerd style, you know, standards too. You think they would have like some kind of sense of empathy for people or for minorities singled out, but no, a lot of times they don't. A lot of times they just have conservative mindsets that were instilled into them, and they're reinforced. You know, it's easy to be a Puritan when it comes to sex when you have no girlfriend and very few friends. It's like, oh yeah, you're such a great example. It's so hard. It was so hard being a pure virgin till the day you got married, right? Because you had no dates. And now you want to enforce that on everyone else. Especially some of these people who are adults and still can't get dates somehow, and never got one, and they want to fucking impose some crad wife mindset. Yeah, no thanks. There's no fucking room for that debate. That's fucking stupid. If you want to go argue, you can believe anything you want. All that matters is why you believe it. But like, if I was running a platform that made money, and people can make money off of that platform, why would I let pieces of shit that want to undermine me, undermine my existence? Like, if they had it their way, they would just cripple me financially. You know, they would make it so that I could just get fired on the spot if I was out of the closet or whatever. In fact, you can still do that legally. Now, it might be a hassle for the business, depending on the state. But, yeah, legally, you can still do that. With no repercussions. All it's going to take is one business to decide to do that again. And, take on the lawsuit. Usually, most business owners are smarter than that, though. They'll just, you know, make up any reason to fire you. Especially if it's in that will state. Be like, oh, insubordination. You were late 2 times. You clocked in too late. Whatever, they'll make up anything. That's how my managers did it back in Blockbuster. If they didn't like someone, they would just start scheduling their hours all over the fucking place. Make them do tasks that no one else is supposed to do, or has to do. Make them do more often. Essentially just like gently push them out. And that's how they do. Alright, I've gained the confidence. Let's start inking up some of this background here. Yeah. Very rough light lines, I think. We'll do. I'm not going to get architectural with it and start doing the rulers, except when it comes to the bridge. Because I'll have to do that. This initial spot here, though. Come on. That's right. Doesn't like to be on its side. Yeah. Just a little hint of bush over there. Bit of a tower there. Oh yeah, other than that, that video's pretty good. I'd say overall, pretty spot on for a lot of things. That internet theory, especially. Eventually, I can only imagine if like something happens, like something pops, and a bunch of advertisers like realize like no one's watching shit. And it's just a bunch of bots feeding into into itself. They're gonna bail hard, and who knows? Or worse yet, what I think might happen, and we might start a new website being able to take off and do what YouTube used to do. At least some other ones, other than like Nebula and Means TV, I think is the other one that came out recently. As if YouTube just starts locking things down. Like deciding who gets to upload. It just goes full on corporate. Like corporate only. It might even happen naturally if Nvidia and these graphics card companies have their way right now, because it seems like they're going to be focusing more on their data mining and language model data centers, producing for them and these big businesses rather than consumers. We're all going to be fucking having to make the choice for the tablet. Alright. Seems like the best way to do it. Well, I want to see this dry first before I accidentally smudge something. Yep. But yeah, let's keep these buildings really almost abstract. I'm going to lay down some of this bridge. Yeah, that seems like it'll work. I'm just gonna have to make some pencil adjustments. Yeah, 'cause it's like... So I'll be blacked out here. Flip this around. I'm gonna try that method again, I don't care. I think it elevates it way too high. It's a problem. Too bad. It's not. Really? Had to blotch it. No, could have fell on worse spots. Alright. What else was there? Yeah, like, at the end of the day, too, when it comes to, like, debates online, you don't get to choose your body type, you don't get to choose your sexual attractions. You get to choose whether or not you're a bigot, though. I mean, if you don't want to get, like, singled out for being an asshole, don't be an asshole. These people act like they're fucking victims. Not implement, just... And a lot of all these other people in general act like they're victims when they're not, when they're in charge. It's very rich for Trump to say that Christianity is the most persecuted religion when it's the fucking dominant religion in this country still. It's like, what law? What laws or policies singled out Christians? I'll wait. You know, Christianity is a fucking choice, too. Not sure why it's everyone else's problem that you believe in fucking fairy tale and we should abide by your laws and beliefs. You can just see why. Alright, well, it's the other method I've seen. See, fucking. All right. There we go. Oh, come on. Let's put fucking ink on it. All right. Yeah, I guess it's the best method I found. Lean up the roller a bit, and boom. Straight line. Kind of. So. All right. Well, replacement battery, but time. All this is just adding more experience to me and my abilities. I remember that. Just gotta rough some of this out in the ink form. And get some of these buildings back in there. Backgrounds. It's our time? Oh, okay, good. That'll be later. Yeah, I thought I was gonna have more say on this on that video Implement did, but you know, like I said, like second time watching it, kind of vibe with it. It's just the fucking centrist shit that gets me all uptight. Cause I don't understand, you know, why people like Lemon, at least he comes off that way in his videos. Like, why can't you just comprehend the idea that like certain things are not debatable? Certain things should not be allowed to be up to, for debate, because when you put those things up for debate, you legitimize them. And when it comes to certain things that are just not, you know, proven time and time again that they're not legitimate, you don't entertain them. That's why Jordan Peterson Someone I think he's complimented before. Don't quote me. I don't know if if it was him or someone else I'm thinking of. Maybe Rusty Cage. But it was like... Oh man, just lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, Jordan Peterson, he lost his credentials as a fucking psychologist because he refused to fucking... He'd rather be a guy that grifts people for money on Patreon, doing his bullshit, spewing his bullshit, than being a legitimate scientist. So yeah, they took his credentials away. He can scream and whine all he wants about how it's a political move and all that. It's like, yeah, it is. You know, academia wants to promote academia in science and understanding the human condition, not political ideologies and edicts. It's just like how evolution's not a fucking debate when it comes to science. No one's like, no one's having a fucking bring out a bunch of theories and formulas to prove evolution every week. It's the general understanding of why there's a diversification in life, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Has nothing to do with the origin of life. It just has to do with why there's so much diversity in life in terms of eye colors, height, genetic dispositions. And in the psychology field, like things like race and gender are understood and accepted as something completely made fucking up and has no basis in scientific ethics and understanding. Yeah, it's only like race is only made real for the fact that Whitey made it real. And race itself is such a nebulous concept. That's why certain people can pass as white until they're not. Like Irish, for example. Irish wasn't considered white at some point. Irish is considered, you know, you're inferior. And where the fuck did that come from? Alright, this bridge got a little bit wider than I thought it would. That's fine, it's supposed to go up. There's awnings here. Actually, go smaller awnings. You know, hopefully I can get my friend's commission, my other friend's commission started soon too. Oh boy. Yeah, this is turning a little haphazard right now. Alright, you know what? Before I make any more mistakes, let's fix this right now. There. Yeah, just it just kills me how effective it is too. The distractions, rather than look at a bunch of economic issues that actually affect people. You got a bunch of people convinced that 1% of the population is somehow destroying the rest of the 91% of the population, less than 1% of the population, somehow destroying the 99% of the population. Which I thought Americans were strong. I thought Americana was strong. You tell me less than 1% of the population is able just to topple an entire empire simply for existing? Because there's a state where one teenage trans woman is playing hockey somewhere. That's all it took. That's why you can't entertain these people at all. You can't legitimize their ideas. And they legitimize their ideas by being millionaires funded by billionaires to propagate it. Like, there wasn't a bunch of fucking activists of trans people out there demanding that they use the restroom. No, who invented that? Who invented that debate? Fucking Heritage Foundation, conservatives, you know, Republicans, and the Dems. The Dems won't even fucking touch it anymore. I was telling one of my friends who's talking to me, he's like, yeah, I think my friend was telling me that the reason why Cop Mala lost was because of the trans issues that they were focusing on. I'm like, dude, that's just marketing. Those are like the campaign ads you'll hear that on. That's what they say that they're saying, but they're not. Never came up. Trans and queer people never even came up that entire debate with Cop Mala there and Trump. I know that because I watched the entire fucking debate because, you know, I work for a podcast that commentates on politics. The ads work, though. You got that $100 million ad campaign going on. Yeah, you had a bunch of people convincing that she was for trans rights when she didn't fucking mention them at all. And as far as, like, Palestine goes, what happened during one of her rallies? A bunch of people were chanting Free Palestine. And what was her response? Keep saying that if you want Trump to win. And the public's response, like, okay, fine. And a lot of them probably stayed home that day when it came to election day and said, fuck this. Like, I feel like no matter who I vote for, I'm signing a death warrant to my loved ones back in Palestine. You know, for a lot of these voters, I imagine. And so they, you know, refuse to participate. And who could blame them? When you're at a catch-22 like that, the only other option, it would be like a revolution. But you're not going to throw your meat bodies at the United States military. You know, it's funny how we dragged this out from an Emblem video to this. But yeah, this is how it goes. Because, yeah, the free market of ideas is just bullshit. You should not be able to fucking lie about cancer treatments and swindle people out of money and scam people. Like, you know, it just comes to a point. It's like, what, do you just support scams? Free market of ideas, right? Yeah, they'll feel that. They'll be fine with it until, like, one of their loved ones gets affected by it. You think if, like, grandma or their mom, their elderly mom or dad gets swindled out of, like, $100,000 or some shit of their retirement? Because, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles, right? Yeah, I'm sure they'd be fine with that. Their fucking libertarian viewpoint. Let's see how it stacks up against that. Well, 80-year-old mother, you should have just done your due diligence. Come on, 80 is the new 40. Yeah, like, you know what's funny too about the whole AI shit taking over YouTube? It's like, you know what? It's not that far different from the slop we were getting a couple years ago when it came to reaction channels. Back before YouTube changed their algorithm to watch time priority as opposed to clicks. Or the YouTube Kids shit. It's just streamlined now. And yeah, I don't browse. I can't remember the last time I ever actually did browse YouTube. Like, I'll go on my homepage and I'll get the recommendations based on like my previous watches of other people. But as far as like actual just like straight up browsing and picking a category, shit, I haven't done that in so long. I should make that a thing at some point. I should probably have Michael Ringtail do that on Human Watch. That seems like it'd be a hoot. Let's actually browse YouTube and see what we come up with. Alright, this is coming together. This part scares the shit out of me because I'm not sure how I'm going to measure it out. We'll get there when we get there, huh? So go ahead and just kind of abstract, rough these out. So awning over there in the background. Nope. Don't get too crazy with the cross hatching there. There we go. Yeah, City of Bridges. Alright. Need my smaller ruler is what I need. That's in my fucking thing. Alright. Time is it? I want to switch gears here with my other videos. Oh, but I already turned off my PC. Well, fuck. I didn't have to go get up at fucking 5 AM right now. Grab a Celsius and switch to another project. But, no, hitting that hour. Into Christmas Day, we gotta get up at 7 so we can make our trip. So, definitely probably won't be doing this tomorrow. Wait, I take that back. I will be doing this tomorrow because I can sleep in a little more. Yeah, fucking Christmas Eve. Oh my god. One of the lists in my little journal I've been keeping so I can keep up with topics and conversation here when I'm live streaming is about the PTSD I have from elementary school and grade school in general. That'd be a hell of a thing to talk about on Christmas Eve, huh? Here's your dose of misery for Christmas. Have fun with your presents. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what stick out, considering everyone's gonna be doing, like, celebration shit, mostly, right? I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Oh yeah, I'll think about it. I'm gonna do it. But tomorrow, though. Tomorrow on Christmas Eve. See, that in itself will help me get through it. It's just too hilarious. Alright, good night. Thanks for coming by.